teach me anything new. Hey, everyone. Guess who I have with me? Dr. Barb O'Neill. It's so funny because I was just telling Barb right before now, I was with Ijuma and Isela, and they're my best friends because Barb introduced me to their work, right? How long ago?
I love that.
I say that, but it was like maybe the
4
very
years.
first, the very
Yeah.
first, second?
The first, yeah.
The first Transforming Challenging Behavior online conference, and now we're on number 4.
Yeah.
We need a drummer or a drum roll or a whole band. I don't know. Well, how are you, Barb?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm so glad to be here talking with you. I love that you're out in nature, and yeah, I'm good.
And we were also talking about you because we were talking about puppets, but we were kind of having some trouble with Sesame Street, not puppets, so it's okay.
Okay, great. Not puppets in general, just Sesame Street in particular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you don't have anything against puppets.
Good.
Right? I always love to give you a hard time about puppets. Okay, so why we're here today, y'all, as I alluded to, Barb, who's our host and the creator and the brain person behind the Transforming Challenging Behavior Online Conference, I asked her to come on and talk to us a little bit about a slight variation of the conference, which is about for leadership. And Barb and I are going to use a very broad definition of leaders.
Mm-hmm.
But I always love to think about what's in it for them and or why would they encourage their staff to attend, or how would they embed this into a professional learning community, blah, blah, blah. So let's maybe start off with what is the conference, and when you talk to leaders, Barb, how do you sort of talk to them about why this conference is for them?
Yeah. Okay. No, that's great. So should I just give like a quick, hi, Julie. Should I give just a quick rundown of what the conference is and how it works?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll do it specifically.
The world knows, but just in case a few people don't know, let's let them know.
I don't think everybody knows, but yeah, so it's a 7-day conference coming up this spring, April 28th through May 4th. And basically, it's an opportunity to learn everything and anything you could want to learn to help you with challenging behavior during that week. And we don't have to go into all the specifics, but basically it's this year 23 videos. And as soon as you register, you'll be signed up to get notified of that week of the 3 to 4 videos of the day you can watch. So we have 24 hours. And then the next day, folks get to see 3 or 4 new videos. And we do that for 7 days.
I register for free, and then every day I get 3 or 4 videos of amazing content about how to support young children with behaviors that challenge us. Okay.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly right. And so basically, I mean, I'm so excited to talk with you about how this can be beneficial to early childhood leaders. And I use that term all the time. So to me, it's like, center directors, preschool owners. Here in California, we have a thing called site supervisors for the, state-funded preschool. Everybody who works at Head Start to support teachers and families, managers, mental health consultants, disability coordinators. So basically, anyone who is supporting or supervising teachers, I think, might be interested in the conference because obviously, on the one hand, they can participate the same way as a classroom practitioner and hopefully advance their own learning. However, it's a really unique opportunity to bring new content, new ideas, and a sense of community to staff members, even if they can just carve out, 1 hour a day or 1 hour a couple of days a week, or look at the schedule and find the session that you think, oh, let's get the whole staff to watch this. And, then as we can, we'll schedule a time to talk about it. So you can both use it for center-wide development, but you can also look at the schedule and find something that might be very specific to one teacher you coach or a teaching team who you're coaching or supporting. So, you don't have to watch all 23, right?
I had 2 ideas about that. My dear friend and co-teacher Julie Costin was posting in the chat, and Julie and I often talk about changing mindsets, heart sets, and skill sets. So as you were talking, Barb, if I was a coach or disability coordinator, I could say, oh, this group or this teacher might need more mindset, and I might help them decide which sessions to watch, or heart set or skill set. I also was thinking of it, all of those are interwoven.
Right.
So it will almost be like a cooperative learning, so that if Julie and I are both teaching, she watches one, I watch one, and we come back in like a jigsaw way and we teach each other what our key takeaways. So it's almost, I don't want to use a war metaphor, but we divide and conquer.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, I did a webinar with some of the EC leaders in my community, and they said, a few of them actually said they've done exactly that at previous years. So I think it was a owner director of a smaller center, and there were 5 folks working. So she said, we just each watch one to start off. We each pick different ones, and then we come together to discuss, and then they could do that again. So yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's very common in early childhood. Like, you get on the plane, you go to the conference, or you drive there, and you're like, okay, you go learn about art, and you go do this. It's like, we got to get our stuff, folks.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we got to get our money's worth. And Julie's co-teaching with us right now. She says it's good to share the learning load.
Yeah.
And it really is, because it helps us cover more territory and then come back as a group, either a learning community or just in community, and share with one another the key takeaways. Because that's, for my experience, Barb, having watched not all 23 or 24 each season, I sometimes get 3, and it's like enough.
Yeah.
Once I met Isela, I was done for the season. Like, I didn't need any more. She filled my bucket, and I could go deep and long with her content. But other years, I've liked to listen to lots of different speakers who may have different perceptions about a similar topic. But what would you say to these coaches and directors and supervisors who are like, oh, Barb, Christy, are you all like not noticing that we're living in a pandemic, and that childcares have never closed, and that we are tired, and that asking my staff to sit in front of a screen to watch 3 things, like, help us understand how this is still good.
Right. That's fair. Totally fair question. So, I mean, the first thing I'll say to that, which, is maybe breaking all the rules of like spreading the words of things online. And you can, give me a hard time later, but like, yeah, pace yourself. Maybe you do less this year. It's okay. Like, I just thought that, especially last year at the conference, and then like tens of thousands of people showed up. So I guess they were not thinking the same thing, but it's true. It's okay if we do a little less these days. That said, this conference was not on the list of conferences where everybody in the last year was scrambling to move things from in person to online. The design of this event has always been to be online. It's always been online. So we really try to set it up for busy people who might be burnt out or don't want more screen time. So basically what that means is the sessions are kind of like a podcast, but with video. Right. That said, you can get away with most of the sessions with not watching the video or not watching it the whole time. So you can just open my daily email on your phone, click the daily link, look at the daily, who's speaking, click go on the video, and then, put it down while you do your chores, or do that in the car if you're commuting to work, because many childcare centers are open. You could do it, while you're, I don't know if I said this already, do your dishes or cooking. So you can really kind of fit it in. And I know I personally do I like learning that way. So I design this for folks to do that. So you can sit at the screen for some of them, but then do some of the others and more like treat it like a podcast, even though it is a video.
Yeah. So it's much like what they're experiencing right now with you and me. There's nothing that we're sharing on our screen that is necessary to see. Now, we might be pleasing on the eyes to look at, but
sure.
there's no value added per se.
Right,
and so
right.
for this year, I almost called you Julie because I've been co-teaching with her for like a year and a half. Barb, this year, are there transcripts for each again, or in Spanish?
Yeah.
All that, and the
Great
worksheet?
question.
Maybe you could just talk a little bit about
Sure.
the paper support for us old school people who want to know, like, yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. So like I said, every day you get access to 3 or 4 videos. And so every day we have a free daily workbook that you can download. It's an interactive PDF with, there are some graphics in there to help you remember concepts, but it's predominantly questions and prompts to help you reflect and apply what you're learning. And those are available in both English and Spanish, and they're, part of the whole experience. They're a little lengthy, some of them, so you might want to preview them on your desktop before you hit print.
Right.
And then, as you also said, for those who prefer to do their learning in Spanish on the videos, you could choose Spanish or English, actually. Captions. So it also supports deaf and hard of hearing folks that you could, or anyone maybe who speaks a language other than Spanish, or English is not their strongest. Sometimes people like a visual, just if that supports you. So there is the Spanish.
If it's quiet where you need to be, you can read it.
Oh, right. True.
Right. Yeah.
Good point.
And access points. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in terms of, you asked about transcripts. So we do also, most people participate in the free 7-day experience, which is like a time limited but on demand learning opportunity. And then some folks who want more time with the videos, or want their PD certificates, or maybe want transcripts and so on, may choose to get an extended access package. So that is available, and that does have the transcripts. I think we will provide the transcripts if there's a disability and somebody needs them. That's also, they can email us about that.
Well, that's really good to know. So for those, I do think, Barb, I know that it's important to you that people have free access to this content. I know that that's part of the mission and the work that you do. I just really think that people need to also think about, how can this be my professional development even into next year and or the year after? I find I still, because I have through being a presenter or through our work together, I have access to the years, and I am always back and getting stuff, either the transcript or the reflection journal, or listening to it again. And so if people think about, they have budgets that they need to spend out, if they have COVID dollars, if they're not sure about the timing, I don't want that to be a barrier. Even if they get 1 or 2 just to see what it's about, really start to plan now about how they might get the extended access. I do find that the transcripts are helpful because I can search, what was Mike's last name that did Rough and Tumble Play?
Huber.
Yes.
Huber.
I loved his session. It had to have at least been 2 years ago. And
no, it was the first one.
It was the first one again. Okay.
Yeah.
I just fell in love in the beginning. And so I still go back through his transcript to look for key quotes of things that I want. And so I can search by keywords. So I just feel like folks need to really be planning. Yes, do it free, but also how can I incorporate this into my PD for the rest of next year? Okay. So speaking of sessions, maybe we'll just end with Barb and of course anything you want to share. I know that you record these earlier than when we watch them. So sometimes I'm asking you to go back into your memory. If you were to say to a leader, as we've defined it in our little Facebook Live, are there a couple sessions? I know it's going to be hard because you love them all for different reasons. Are there certain ones that are speaking more to leaders or raise leadership issues than others that maybe I should keep my eye out for?
Yes, absolutely. They're top of mind for me. So one session, I do have the schedule up, but also this is what I'm thinking, living, breathing right now. So it's very top of mind. So the conference starts on April 28th, which is a Wednesday. Some people get confused because they think the first day of a week would logically be a Monday or something or a Sunday. But for us, it's a Wednesday. So one of our speakers on the very first day is one of the co-authors and editors of the Each and Every Child Teaching Preschool with an Equity Lens book by NACI, our national professional organization. So Alyssa Mwena-Lupembe is speaking, and we're billing that session as for everybody. However, she is a director, or I think she recently switched jobs since we recorded the interview possibly, but she uses a lot of examples that are both very practical, but in also looking at the whole program. And it's really looking at the issues of racial disproportionality around children who are identified, suspended, and expelled in preschool for behavior-based concerns, and how we can keep kids in preschool. And she talks about, shifting teachers' mindsets. And she also talks about what to do about kids who are like running down the hall and out of the classroom, which is certainly can be a big concern for those in a leadership level who are ultimately responsible. So that's one. The second one I would mention, I just have all my visual aids. I hope you don't mind. The first day we have Sarah Erdman, the author of another NACI book, Trauma and Young Children. I don't know if that one is like, that's great for directors, but it's more, I just had the book there and I thought I would highlight that. And day two, I promise I won't take you all through all 7 days, but day two, we actually have a designated session for ECE leaders, and that's all related to that book, but different speakers on trauma responsive programs. And that's by LaWanda Wesley, Julie Kurtz, and Julie Nicholson, who are kind of like our resident trauma experts at the conference. And they're going to be taking that programmatic lens. So that's just a few I'll throw out there just in the first 2 days.
And so let's say maybe what we could do is to help folks kind of pick and choose. I gave them the link to the schedule. Maybe talk a little bit about the Facebook community / the emails that you send daily / how presenters interact. So like how that community starts to make recommendations. And then let's say it's like Julie was on at 10, but now I don't get to notice it until 8 o'clock at night. How long I have to watch it once I've learned that I want to watch it. Does that make sense? Like, how do you support us?
Right. Well, the good news is that you learn about a session you want to watch at 8 p.m. You still have almost 12 hours to over 12 hours. The bad news is you should probably be sleeping. So yeah. So joining the Facebook community is of course optional, but since we're here on Facebook, I'm assuming we might have folks who are willing to do that. So it's a great experience to be a part of the Facebook community. There's just like so much energy and folks from all over the world. And the fun part is during the conference, we have a designated discussion thread for every single video, and many of the speakers are able to participate in the dialogue there. So, when you log in, whatever time of day that might be, you can peruse the discussion threads to see how folks are responding, and that may help you choose a video to recommend to your staff. So, that I also give away prizes in the Facebook group. So that's fun too, including extended access and many of the speakers' books. So I think we have the books I just showed you. I don't know if NACI didn't give them to us. Maybe I'll buy one or two to give away because it's just fun. We love a raffle in early childhood.
Yeah, definitely. It's good stuff. I do find that if you're going to be on social media, that joining the Facebook group is helpful. Those designated discussions really kind of are the Cliff Note versions of the talk. You get to hear quotes, the takeaways from colleagues from their perspective. You get to interact, as you said, many times with the presenter, and then you can always go back and listen to it if you're in a different time zone or you have different availability. So, all right. Is there anything else that is behind the scenes or a special or anything that you want to like tease us about that we just don't want to miss? I don't know. I just made that question up.
Let's see. Well, you did just make that question up. That's great. The only thing I would say is that, since you and I are saying, oh, this is happening on April 28th, it might be tempting to say, oh, I'll check it out later or register later. So I would just encourage anyone watching who thinks they're even a little bit interested to just go ahead and register, because then, as you said, I'll be sending some emails between now and then. I'll just send you like a link to a little 1-minute video or give you a little more information. And, you know, you can always, it's a free event. So if you're like reading my emails and you're like, actually, this is not for me at all, you can always unsubscribe. You don't, but I think it's a way to just learn a little bit more. And I'll be doing at least one live webinar that folks might want to know about. So there'll just be some things that if you wait till the last minute, not only might you forget, but you know, might miss out on a little something. We don't want that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Register now, even though it's not for a little while, and register for free, and there's no obligation, and you might get a Ginsu knife in the mail.
Never know when I'm giving away a Ginsu knife.
I don't know. That infomercial just came to my mind.
Amazing.
All right. Well, Barb, I appreciate you so much. And I just, you know, I was so grateful that you went through with the conference last year. It was such a difficult time. And I know so many people felt wrapped around and supported and a little bit of normalcy. And I kind of feel the same this year. It's just sort of like become a bedrock of place that we can go for really good, deep conversations. And we have that choice. We can either watch one and that satiates us, or we can watch several a day, or we get lucky and have extended use across years. So just want to appreciate you. And I look forward to what I might learn and who I might become best friends with this year from your present.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for having me, Chrissy. And I really hope I get to see a bunch of you at the conference.
Perfect. Great. All right.